Thank you, Anna-Kajsa, and all the rest of the speakers today. It has been very interesting. Thank you. I'm starting to present Dorisfilm, and then Brusk is going to talk about University of Skövde. And then we're going to present a project that we are having together with two students, a computer game that we are developing. Yes.
You want to stay? Please stay.
I think I'm a little bit touched of your presentation, Anna-Kajsa, because I think everything is actually about that you were talking about. I work as a dramaturg, and we work in gender equality for over 10 years in Sweden with performing arts and also in business development. And I think the main thing is that you have to see somebody else going that way that you are going. Role models is very, very important for all of us, both on all sides. I'm here from Dorisfilm, and we are not from this industry. We are a film business, and they started as a network in '99. It was a group of female film workers in Gothenburg who felt tired about the gender stereotypes in what they've seen on the screen, but also behind the cameras, also about in the production, the film productions. So they gather together and start to analyzing film together and talk a lot, and to reflect about images, about what we're seeing, and they couldn't identify themselves on what they saw on the screens. And today we are a board. We became an economic association in 2003. We are 8 members in the board, and we work voluntarily in the board, but we constantly raise funding for different projects. And here we have one project with a computer game. And we wanted to take action. We are presenting ourselves as we are doers. Doers is doers. And so we want to take action, and we wrote the first female manifest in film history, written by females, that we know about. I don't know, that's our truth. And we asked for women on all the main positions in a film production. And we raised for 3 script competition in 3 years in a row. And we received over 700 scripts written by women from 3 years. And we have different jury groups who read the scripts and presented from the board, and then we chose to develop some of them. Here's also in Russian, because we work nowadays also in Russia. And here's the films, and I have some of them with me if somebody is interested, and we can also send them to you. There are different, very, very different films. There are animations, they are short films, so they're from 3 minutes until 8 minutes or something like that. And for us, our experience is that it's so very, very important to ask for women. And when we started, everybody says you cannot find women on the A position for sound, for example, and it was really hard to find it. But after a while, because when you ask, you have to go and think outside the box. You have to ask to spread your reputations, and you have to take other actions. So now we have this, and they are put together in like a feature. I joined the board in 2007, and I wrote tutorials for all our films. And we're trying to. We don't have a bus like that, but it would be nice. But we're touring in our region, and we toured and met over 400 pedagogues in schools. And as I said, when Iris was talking, after this project, it was kind of hard to reach out to the schools because it took so much time to find the schools. And we talked to the students, to the pedagogues. And then I come home, and my children were playing Star Doll. And I said, is this it? We need to do something else. So I'm a little bit glad for that. And so we wanted to do something else, to develop a computer game for children. Very different. We wanted to take some to show that female characters can be very active and to do different things. So, and also to reach children, we thought that computer games, as you know, all here, is a very easy way, or it's a common way to talk to children, to meet them and to interact. And our films, they have been shown in over 45 countries all over the world. They are touring with us sometimes and without us. And they'll be shown to different festivals. And we think that also, because it's very, they highlight and collect female competence on one place, because women have always been doing films. But when you put them together, you can show such a big material. That's in our PR. That's the thing that people think is amazing, that we have so many films. And we can have this material and they are different. So you cannot say that, okay, women are doing a special type of films or something special. They are doing different stuff because they are different persons and different directors and script writers and so on. And hopefully, we hope that the computer game also will have this worldwide interest. And our goal is that it's going to be free for everybody to use and to reach all children. We don't want to make money for this project. We want to change the world, basically, in Doris. We work with other projects where we want to make money, but not in Doris. Yes. And we also work with the Swedish Institute and having lecture days in Russia. We have been in Kaliningrad several times, also in St. Petersburg and in Belgrade. And we raise questions about democracy and also, like you were talking about, freedom of speech. And it's what do you say? It's very actual. It's very, I cannot find the word. A good question nowadays, not good, but it's a very important question today. And you can see that gender equality works, as it was showing the pictures, gender equality come together with the freedom of speech very much about democracy. And we also work with film projects in school and so on. And next up is we are going to visit the big conference in Bergen. And we're also doing a film, actually, a documentary about the conference. And we're also going to take part of Dorisfilm in Malmö this year. It's a big gender equality conference. Do you know about that conference? Or somebody of you planning? It's the Nordic countries coming together and for 4 days talking about gender equality from that a result from the Being platform in 20 years ago. So it's going to be different topics, and media is one of the topics where we are going to have presentations. Here's our website. You can see some information on that one and our contact info. And I also have some info more about the game that we are trying to develop. And now to you, Jenny.
Okay. I just realized I forgot all links to all our websites. Hi, I'm Jenny Brusk and I teach game design in Skövde. I'm here together with my students, Isabella and Mathilda, who will present their game that we made together with Doris. But I'm just going to make a brief introduction to the game education that we have, and also I will talk about Donna, which is a kind of project or organization in which we're trying to work with gender equality within the education and also in the game industry. So let's see here. So I will start to just talk a little about our education. We have 5 different programs in game development in Skövde, but we actually have 8 tracks. So we have design, game writing, we have 3 tracks in graphics, that is 2D, 3D and animation. We have a sound track and a music track, as well as programming. That means that we have, complete teams of game developers within the education. Every year, the students from the different years collaborate on a joint project in game development, so they will create a game. So the first year students have just finished their first game, and the second year students will just start their development as of, I think, this Monday or something. What Isabella and Mathilda will present is the result of the first year project, actually. And we have about 500 students in the program in total. But the problem is that we have too few female students. And so as a university, we need to work with this issue. We need to have a sort of a balanced representation of both male and female students in our programs. So this is why I, in 2011, started to work on this question. So it was just a little startup thing. In 2012, we actually started this to formulate a group of students with the outspoken purpose of trying to recruit more female students to the programs. But as we do this, I was thinking a lot of these questions, because what am I recruiting them to? And I think Anna has put a sort of a pin here. They don't belong here, sort of, and how can I make them belong here? How can I, create a safe environment for them to enter? And what does the industry look like? I've been working in the industry. I started working in 1996 in a game company, so I have a long experience from game industry as well as game education. And so I figured it's really, really important that we also work with these questions towards the game industry. So we have 3 different sort of purposes, you could say, or 3 different activities, or whatever you would call it. So the first one is that we want to recruit female students, but in order to have them welcome to the programs, we also work with gender equality within the program. So we make sure that we have gender equality on the schedule in the curriculum, and we invite perhaps guest lecturers in the subject. We have workshops where we study norm criticism, and we discuss the content of their games. We question, their intents. But we also have, so this is how we work sort of within the education. But then we've also started a LinkedIn group where we want our students to be able to meet female game developers, and every female game developer here are really welcome to join this group. It's called Donna Network, and this is actually for women only, because there are a lot of game development networks, and I didn't think that we needed one more, but what we needed was a very short path from the students to sort of a role model in the industry. And in the end, I sort of hope that these senior developers could form sort of a mentor for the junior ones. But this is a way to get to know that, to see that there are female developers. Any student can actually join Donna, so we're not excluding anyone. We have about 40 members. Well, only about a handful is actually active in the group, but within these 40, I think there are at least 10 or 12 or something male students as well. So anyone is welcome to join this work, because we think that gender equality is everybody's business. It's not just the women's business. So what they do is that they can hold workshops. They have some workshops. We represent Donna at different expos, GameX. We talk, like today, where we were part of this panel. We've done this before. We were in Gotland last year and talking about gender equality. So this is a way to influence also the game industry. So we also participated in their seminar they had, I think it was last year, when Anita Sarkisian was invited. So we were there too. And it's student-driven, so the students have a lot of influence in what we do, and they can form, the path that we take. We have a lot of discussions. For me, it's important to also know how they perceive, the school and how it works in the school. If something would happen, I need to know. We've had students meeting representatives from the industry and saying, how can I get a job in the industry? What do I need to do? Well, you're so cute. You can just get a job, And this is what my students can hear from industry representatives. So we have to actually have this kind of platform to talk about these things. So this is sort of summarizes what we do: workshops, talks, networking, expos, marketing, lobbies, and so we do a lot of marketing. We have a lot of publicity in Sweden, in Swedish press, and also we have this collaboration, which is more of a concrete result of what we've done. And you will see the result because Isabella and Mathilda will present it. Because Doris came to us with a request that we should do a game together. So we started to see how we could involve and integrate this in the first year project. And Isabella and Mathilda were really positive, so they were two of the students that chose to create a game for Doris. And now they've continued. And we can also actually see positive results from the work of Donna. We don't know if Donna is the sole purpose, but we have increased the number of accepted students from perhaps 12% or something up to 16%. So we have more female students now than we had before. And hopefully we will have even more in the future. But we are patient. So thank you for me, and now I think that we have some game to show.
Hello, my name is Mathilda Bjarnehed. And my name is Isabella Billgren. We are computer game design students at the University of Skövde. And apart from our full-time studies, we are working towards gender equality in the gaming industry. We are also active members of the Donna initiative. And we have a collaboration with Dorisfilm. And as a part of our course Game Project 1, we began our collaboration with Doris. We both have the opportunity to create game ideas based on their manifesto. The game itself had to be free from stereotypes and hopefully create a debate about the content represented in games. It should be free of charge and created towards an international release. So we made two ideas: Alex and the Museum Mysteries by Mathilda here, and The Escape by me. And then we began our 10-week development as part of the course we were taking. And both our teams were in equal composition and had only female leads.
So after the 10 weeks, one idea was chosen for further development, and Doris picked Alex and the Museum Mysteries. So then members of both the Escape group and the Alex group joined together to create a demo. So we've been about 14 students, quite a big group, working on this demo for a few months. The demo was completed just a couple of months ago, and we consist of roughly 2/3 of women, and that's really uncommon. It's really hard to find a group with that kind of composition, either among students or in the industry. And this demo, that's where we stand now. We've made the demo, but of course we have future plans. Currently we're applying for funding so we can complete the project, and the goal is to create a group that consists of both students and professionals to finish this game. And then we want it, of course, to be free of charge. And we want it to be available at schools and libraries all over the world, but also online for people to download it and play it at home. And right now, the demo is in English, but the goal is to translate the game into many different languages so more children can enjoy it. And the game is a point-and-click game for children ages 8 to 12, and it's all about the Museum Mysteries. The player travels through time at a museum, and in every age there's a new mystery to solve. You play as 12-year-old Alex, who's a very brave young girl, and she heard that the local museum is haunted. So she decides to go there one night to see for herself if it's true. And there she meets Hedvig, who is a woman who died in the 17th century. She's a ghost, of course, but she doesn't quite remember why she's there or who she was. So these two characters travel through time together and solve mysteries, and the further back they go, the more Hedvig starts to remember who she is, and she realizes that she was a scientist, but all of her findings have been lost, her whole life's work, and that is then the main goal of the game, to find this lost research so that Hedwig can find peace. And we wanted to make a game free of stereotypes in the spirit of Doris, of course. And there's a lot of role models for children. There are lots of scientists that you can meet when you travel in time. But we try to keep a focus on having female pioneers, women who were ahead of their time, because we want this game to reach girls in countries where gender issues are much bigger than in the Nordic countries, and we want to show them that women can do science too. Curiosity, discovery, and inquisitiveness are the main aspects of the gameplay. We don't want to take the player by the hand and lead them through a story. We want them to feel encouraged to go out and explore the different environments in the museum themselves. And the theme is, of course, natural science, because that's where the game takes place, in the Museum of Natural Science. And why? Well, it's a field that's still very heavily dominated by men. And it's a matter that's very close to my own heart, because before I studied game design, I studied physics, but there were so few women there, just like studying games. I was one of the only women. And it made me really sad, because I felt that there's a passion when you're little that then gets lost. A lot of women, just like with games, they feel that I can't really do this because there's not a lot of role models, and then they lose their passion and do something safe instead. So hopefully this game can inspire girls to keep that interest. And we're going to show you a little clip now from the demo, so you can see some of the gameplay and the art.
This was wrong.
It's really dark in here. Where's the light switch? That's better. Now let's find that ghost. Yes! Got the code! 8939. 8939. I need a flashlight.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you have any questions about Dorisfilm or about the project or Donna?
Yeah.
Actually, I just wanted to comment that I was studying IT about 10 years ago at the Helsinki University, and there was one course called Game Graphics then, which I took because I thought that, okay, that sounds nice, making graphics for games. And it was actually, the whole course was about building algorithms for how to render the shadow when you have light coming through the object. And that didn't really spark my interest in gaming. I found it later. But this looks so much more interesting, so I think this will probably spark a lot of interest in many people. So
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Donna. I'm studying at the University of Helsinki. I'm from Brazil, one of the places with gender issues, to mention. I've always been a gamer, and I've been kept away from video games since I was really little. My mother was totally pro, but my grandma gave me a very hard time because I liked video games. She said it was not for girls. I think Anakai said something very important, and what you're doing is really, really important, because I really wanted to work with games some time ago, but everything kept me away from it. Everybody said that it felt like it was not my place, like you said. I was not supposed to do that. And although there were people saying, no, you should try, there were more people saying that I shouldn't. And of course, there is not only programming. I'm not very good at math. I love math, but math doesn't like me. And but there is not only that in games at all. I love it clicking this kind of games when I was really little. And so I think it's really important for women to raise this. Some people think that we are complaining too much, that we are like, why are you talking about? There is this and this female character. Sometimes they're semi-nude, sometimes they're all semi-nude. I love fighting games, but sometimes I get really, really aggravated. They are all, I mean, nothing against it, but all the female characters are wearing bikinis with swords, and I'm playing that too. I'm playing that game. And I remember that because I was good in games, guys never believed, and they would get angrier at me if I won. I was like, why? You just lost. That's your problem, not mine. So I think it's an empowerment issue as well, because we are kept away from not only playing, but developing, and to tell us this is not for us. And film is a little like that, because I'm a filmmaker too, and it's really hard when you want to be a director, for example. There is a lot of resistance to that. So I would like to understand if you are talking to other groups in other countries as well, not only the Nordic countries, because of course it's here is a lot more gender equal than Brazil, but still you have issues. And even here, when I'm playing a game, I will see a Finn going like, oh, you like this game? Yes, but you're a girl. And this is Finland. What are you talking about?
Actually, we were on our way to Brazil last year, actually, because it's a big project and work involved in that. So hopefully that's our goal, that we can spread this project all over the world. And right now, Dorisfilm is starting up in Iceland and in Norway. And we have visiting very many countries and try to create network. And we also, like Mathilda and Isabella said, are going to create, our goal is to create a kind of dream team who can develop this demo. And very wonderful if it could be people from a lot of countries taking part of that. That would be great.
Yes, I would just like to add that I've heard so many stories, such as yours. I used to work in Gotland, and they also have some kind of a network working with gender equality in the game industry. This was some years ago, and it wasn't really the hottest subject at the time. But we met some, teachers in high schools and stuff, and they would always try to prevent the girls from actually doing a career in game development. I've had parents, a mother actually, calling my phone at the university and asking why her daughter should waste her talent by entering our programs. So yeah, there are a lot of resistance towards having female game developers from all, the whole society. And that is something that I think is one of the major problems, actually. I think that is one of the major reasons why we have such few female students and female game developers, because they are so, stopped all the time. So we work a lot of just trying to change the attitudes towards games, as well as towards who can make the games. I think that is really, really important. So we try to reach out to the adults in these girls, neighborhood, basically, students, parents, teachers, parents, guidance, student guidance and stuff like that. I think that is one of the keys, actually.
I just wanted to say that, like, if I was at a school, or I'm applying now, I would be a lot more open to applying to a school if there was a program like Donna there. Like, it just, it makes you...
we hope.
Yeah, no, but I mean, part of the problem is that it's kind of an industry I'm afraid to get into because I've met a lot of men who have been really horrible and bad. And I kind of get the feeling that there is a stereotype of the guy who's a horrible, sexist asshole on while playing Counter-Strike or something, and I don't want to be surrounded by that constantly. So having a group like just meant for women, and you just kind of know that that's there to support you, that would be really nice. Yeah.
Just a short comment to that I also know a lot of amazing nice guys in the game industry.
I've heard of them, but like.
I also would like to add that, Mathilda, you said that was one reason why you applied to Skövde. That was because of that program, and I think that's very interesting how schools address, their potential students. And there is a researcher in Sweden, Andreas Ottomo, who's been looking at how the technological schools are, addressing their potential student, and he shows that they're addressing a very small group of guys, basically nerds, and by that they're excluding all the other guys who might, be interested in technology, and also most of the girls. So it's like it's very important how the education system address these issues, and it seems that for you, Donna made a difference then.
We've been representing the school at many events as part of Donna, and there have been a lot of young women who come up and said that this looks so cool, and it really makes me want to apply to your school. I've been interested in many schools, but now when I see that you do this, I feel really encouraged. It feels like you have a positive attitude there. So it's not just me and not just you. I've heard it a lot from a lot of girls.
And I think also we used to have, when we were looking at how we marketed the programs before, they tend to go out and visit schools that had, let's say they had a high school program in computer science, for instance. 99% men in that, the pupils. So for me it was like, okay, so we're trying to sell our programs to the one who's already decided to apply for programs. It's such a waste of time and such a waste of money, and we do not reach out to any new groups. So it's also about finding these new groups at different places. We cannot just continue to market the ones, the ones that are already blessed. It makes no point. It's just totally, we reach out to them anyway. So it's also about making an effort to communicate to new groups that potentially could be our students. Such as it could be art schools, for instance, or anything that, perhaps have more female students. We have had workshops for classes where the majority of the pupils are girls, for instance. So that's also one way to work with it, to actually actively seeking them.
When you think about designing games to be more women-friendly and exclude the content, let's say, what have you discovered are the main points that need more focus in game design, whether it's user interface or graphic elements or, like you said before, more women characters? Well, what do you think needs more fixing or more focus in the industry?
Personally, I'd say it's more characters, and not just more female characters, but more diverse female characters. I love Dota, I play it a lot, but then I look at the amount of female characters is really low, and all the roles are kind of few. There's one section of heroes that are strong, and one of about 20 are women, and they all look the same. So I don't think women want different sounds or music or different art. I think they want to be able to see themselves in the characters. And for men, there are a lot of opportunities to do so, but I haven't really felt that I can identify very strongly with a character, except for in games like The Sims, where I could create my own character.
Can I just also say something? When we made the films, we made 8 of them. So, because it's not one answer to what women like, or women audience and so on. But as you know, making a computer game is so expensive. So this is like a concept to try, but not the total answer. And that's really important. Like this is one game, and it's actually based totally on Mathilda's own idea. So that's important for us. This is not the answer for female games. This is one example. So, and hopefully just to challenge the business and to find, also to create more networks between the university and professional developers and so on.
So, one more. Yeah, I really like the initiatives that are active instead of critical. So I think it's very important to do things and to show that you can do games as a girl. The main character could be a guy. Like, it's not about that, but it's about to give positive examples and kind of, instead of criticize or see that what would be the parts that we need to look at in the game design. I think that there can be lots of different kinds of game designs and characters, and not always like that, okay, every single game should have a possibility to choose the gender. Like, I don't even like that. I like it when there is a certain character that I play with. So, yeah. I would say that more just doing and less talking.
I think so too, and I think the diversity is the key actually, because it doesn't. We cannot say that all women just want female characters. I don't think that's the answer either. But I think that we will get another point of view when a woman is designing a male character, for instance, and developing a male character would probably be different from a male and creating, both male and female. So it's also about perspective, and we we often talk about male gaze, but we don't really know what the female gaze is actually. So when we look at these female characters, we know that this was, the guy's dream girl, but the guy is also the guy's dream guy. But what if we just turn it around? What is my dream girl, my dream guy? I have no idea.
I had an interesting experience with seeing Uncharted 2 without playing the first one, and it was in a Gamescom 2009 or 10. And I kind of had this epiphany seeing somebody else playing Uncharted 2, and I realized how it felt for guys to play Lara on the Tomb Raider series. So I don't know if you get the point.
I didn't hear the part of it.
I can tell you later, okay?
Yeah, okay. Tell me off the record.
Thank you very much, ladies. A short question, okay?
Coming from the entertainment business, I work for Rovio. I do a lot of brand marketing there, and one thing that kind of bugs me is that we're talking about games as tech when it's really just entertainment. Like, what's the difference from music? It's a very similar kind of industry to music, and nobody's saying the music industry is a technical one, even though you have to know all kinds of technical details, but that doesn't make anybody think like, oh, it's too technical, I don't want to be working with creative people. Games industry is a very creative industry, and I think coming from that perspective that you need to know about coding or computers or IT to start with to design games it's wrong. Like we talked about that earlier today as well with few people here, but like Remedy here, being one of the bigger AAA console gamers, very technical game company, but they're hiring movie writers and Oscar-winning special effects people. It's more of a movie industry already to them, but it's just changing the format. And like looking at the music industry, we're doing very similar kind of monetization techniques right now. So it's kind of maybe changing the sexiness of the industry from tech to entertainment, which is probably something that girls are able to associate a bit better.
I think so too. I think you're absolutely right. And that's also something that we try to set, that's one of the messages that we're trying to send out, to change the attitude what game is and what it could be. So I think you definitely have a point. And I think that, well, you know, what was the name? I forgot the names of the recruiters. Because they were talking about, oh, you need to be passionate, you have to all do all this and do that. And when you talk about game developers and potential, you know, recruit new people, I think that's a bit dangerous and a bit old-fashioned even. Because I think that when we look out, we really broaden our perspective of who a game developer could be, I think that we can really, you know, change the content of games. If we only recruit, you know, the guys who already do this same game over and over again, we will not have any development within games. There will not be a game development at all. It will just be, you know, game production. And I think that we need some development and we need new perspectives. And I think, as you say, when they bring in people from the movie industry, for instance, is one way of doing that. You don't have to be, I don't think that you have to be a passionate gamer to become a good game designer or game developer. I think that you could contribute with something else that makes it, you know, develop. So I did not agree with them.
Thank you. That's the not the organizer's nightmare, but an organizer's dream, that you get an entirely new perspective, opening a new discussion 5 minutes before you start.
Yes.
I'm very happy for this, and we are going to send out an email to all you participating here with question, can we distribute these emails and probably also your Twitter names in order to enable more discussion. So when you get that mail, please answer and say yes and send us your Twitter name. And with this, I say also a very great thank you to all of you from Skövde and from Dorisfilm. Thank you.
Thank you.